Won't you take me back to Tennessee?
The award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest info about hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. This episode is brought to you by GSM Outdoors, whose vision is to preserve the sportsman's legacy, fuel innovation, and enable the next generation of outdoor enthusiasts. Think outside. That's where you'll find us. Now, make welcome your host, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in, and thank you for watching and listening. It's going to be a fun show today. We got another guest from GSM Outdoors, and it's none other than Keith Beam. He's been with us a couple shows.
Welcome him back.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun show today. Today is all about archery and some products from NAP, and also we may dive into Bloodsport a little bit. So two great GSM Outdoors products.
Yeah, and part of the GSM thing is innovation.
Yeah.
And we got the guy here with the innovation. He brings the innovation to the show.
Because he's the director of product innovation.
Exactly.
That's what the title says.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't think we've mentioned this on the last few giveaway shows, but gsmoutdoors.com, and then click brands, and you can see all of the products that they offer.
Lengthy, too.
Yeah, you can scroll for days.
Amazing.
Yeah, so all kinds of great products out there, from hunting, fishing, so fun stuff.
Whatever you do outside.
Yeah, whatever you do outside, they got it. So Don King, before we get started, before we get too deep.
Yeah.
Radio station.
Yeah, WEPG down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. We appreciate them putting Wildcast on the air, 7:30 to 8 on Saturday mornings, and again Sunday mornings early before church, 5:30 to 6. That's the River, WEPG in South Pittsburgh.
Awesome. Yeah, we love our radio partners. We love our all you guys out there watching and listening on your favorite social media platform, your favorite podcasting platform, however you find us on YouTube, Carbon TV. We're out there everywhere. So tune us in. If you want to win some of the products we're going to talk about today, you can go on those social media platforms, tag a friend, comment, like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
All that fun stuff is how you get your name in the hat. And we'll be giving away some cool products from NAP. All right. Keith.
Yes, sir.
I know we've had you on twice, and folks may know you by now, but a quick history, quick background, a new story you may have for us. I mean, I tell you what, the stories we've been getting from show to show, it's been fun. So anything new?
My history, that's just frightening. You guys have heard it twice. I apologize in advance.
We got new listeners out there.
All right. Well, so the whole history of me getting into this industry started in 1993. And Brooks Johnson and I formulated a company called Double Bull Archery. And basically, we were the originators of the hub style hunting blind, which kind of revolutionized commercial ground blinds. So it was a great start. It was a fun start. There's millions of them out there from all different kinds of brands. We have the Maristep, we have Muddy, we have Big Game, in the GSM folds. But we had that company, sold it to Primos in 2007. I stayed with them till 2015. And then I designed a couple broadheads, and back then, Primos didn't have any broadheads at Vista. So I went and presented them to New Archery Products, which was at Forest Park. I'm from Wisconsin, just north of Madison. So it's just a couple-hour drive. I went down there to Forest Park, and I showed them what I'd come up with. And they grabbed them, and I went on board with them, and then GSM came right in there and acquired NAP. So that's how I got underneath this great umbrella that I am right now with GSM Outdoors. So it's been a great career. This is my 30, I don't know how many years just doing blinds. And it's been a great way of teaching, mentoring, getting people involved, including my wife. Being able to take her out when it's a little chilly and she can, fidget around. You can have a heater in the blind,
Yeah. So changed the game for sure.
It did. The portable blinds really changed the way that people hunted things, especially turkeys. Brooks and I did not know that we were going to have such great success chasing whitetail out of them or chasing other big game animals. Bear and turkey are kind of a simple thing to beat out of the ground blind. Deer are a trickier subject, and we can get into that a little bit later. But it blossomed into a full-blown like wild company that was a crazy ride. And I have been blessed to be in this, and now to come over to GSM Outdoors, and I do mostly the cutlery side now. But when I came over, it was to keep designing hunting products. New archery products. It is when I was in college and just starting to bow hunt, I shot thunderheads, and a lot of people did, and then I come over to New Archery Products, and I get to meet Andy Simo, who was the lead engineer on Apollo 11.
Wow.
The only one that landed on the moon.
Yeah.
And, he's a PhD engineer from Purdue. And so everybody said, well, in order to design this, we need a rocket scientist. Well, guess what? Andy is. And so he passed away, I'm going to say 2 to 4 months after I got started with him, but I got a chance to sit down with this guy and learn a lot about him and see his love and passion. And if you think innovative ideas, if you take a look at, the first replacement blade, Broadhead, the Thunderhead, the mechanical, the Spitfire came out 32 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
This guy was so far ahead of his time. The Quick Tune 360, different, flipper rest with a plunger. I mean, you name these kind of different innovations this guy had. And whereas I've designed a lot of products, I can't put it into drawings where he could. Okay, so he's got the same mindset of being a creative individual, but he was one that could go, watch this.
Yeah, let me put this on paper for you.
It will make sense. I'm just drawing things on a napkin. I feel like the Beatles writing a song, and he's drawing it up on CAD CAM, and it's going to make sense. And what a blessing, what an honor. You talk about those people, the Fred Bears and the Gene Asburys and stuff like that brought archery to what it is today.
Yeah.
And he's one of them, and most people don't know it, but I mean, when you talk about Apollo 11, it's pretty serious engineering there.
Definitely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, you mentioned wanting to give back and getting back to the industry that you love. I mean, it's cool that you've created these blinds and created these products that can get kids out there, make it easier for even adults to enjoy the sport and chase wildlife, and hunt, and it's very cool. And then the story that you haven't told today, you told it on the first time I think you visited, but killing 143 turkeys in one of these blinds, it just shows how awesome these products can be to get you really close to the action.
Turkey hunting in a good ground blind, it truly is taboo. When Primos bought me, one of the fun things that Will challenged me to, and he was always challenging me. He's a great mentor. He'd be, Beamer, you need to come down here and hunt these smart birds. I'm like, I'd rather hunt the dumb ones in Nebraska, but okay. And it took me coming down, proving to him that I could kill one of his Easterns, one of these weary old cotton tops with a bow, and do it out of a blind. And I think that was that respect going both ways. And when you take people new to the woods and you put them in something that's comfortable, something that they can move or fidget a little bit about, you're giving that chance for them to pick up those traditions and honors and carry them forward. I think when I grew up, if my older brothers were like, you move, I'm killing you. You sat there, just petrified next to a tree. You were afraid to do anything. Mosquitoes are feeding on your nose and whatever. And you're like, I can't move. And in a blind, I'm taking kids like the United Foundation for Disabled Archers. You're putting wounded vets, you're putting people in wheelchairs out there and letting them bear hunt, let them turkey hunt, let them deer hunt. So you're providing this giant arena that was never there before, and that's what ground blinds have done. And I've been blessed. I killed my 143rd turkey this spring with a bow, and I've got to see that, and they're all on film. Okay, so we had our television show for 15 years, and then we have our video series, but I've got to film my business partner do probably the same, and then we have our misses, which probably multiply way beyond what we've succeeded at. So you start talking about that, and you go, holy cow. I mean, when you look back, this is going to sound crazy, but I probably have had 700 turkeys under 11 yards. from just what you feel. I mean, my wife has killed a pile, just in the last 10 years. And you sit there and you go with her bow and you go, it's you can tell people when to draw, when not to draw. You could never do that out there. So when you get into mentoring and you get into teaching newcomers when and where and how, it's really fun to see because they're nervous, they're trembling. I do it too. I'm nervous. The bird's coming in, and and being able to go, just wait, let him turn, and then he's strut and look away. Draw your bow, and then wait until he's broadside, and you can see that bronze band on him come up from that, and just whack it. Being able to talk somebody through that is priceless. I mean, my wife killed a probably like 155-inch deer down in Texas, low fence, and he was just the stud of the forest. And he came in, and she couldn't get drawn the first time. She was so nervous she couldn't pull her bow back. And so I'm reaching over there, and I'm trying to give her a hand, and she got really frustrated with herself. She's like, no. And that deer's out there, and you can feed down in Texas. So he's eating corn on a Sendero, But they're skitzed. I mean, they really are, skitty-ish as all get up. And she's like, no. And all of a sudden she drew her bow back. Well, now she's at full draw. Well, the deer's facing us. Now you've come to full draw, but please don't shoot right now. I mean, this is like headgear. I don't know where you're going to hit this deer. Please just, and being able to talk to her, and just wait. Well, it seemed like 5 minutes, but it probably took like 20 seconds for that deer to turn broadside.
She's holding it.
Yeah. But she was determined to get her bow drawn and on her own, and she was going to make this shot, and being able just to sit there and go, wait, okay. And you can't do that. You wouldn't be able to pull that off in a tree stand. And tree stands are probably the best way of killing a whitetail, especially when you guys look at Tennessee and hardwoods and field edges and so on and so forth. So it's one of those things that I think that if you look at the ability to teach and the ability to calm,
and increase the odds of success.
100%.
Gets people really excited.
Yeah, and you take a kid, when I used to have to go with my dad and my brothers, and I'm 5, 6 years old, go duck hunting, bored to death, okay, froze.
Cold.
I'm sitting out in the rain, there's drizzle running down. Back then they didn't have Gore-Tex and they didn't have all the stuff that they have now. I'm starting to age myself, but it's the truth. You were miserable. And somehow or another, I stuck with it and still enjoy it. But when I take my kids or I take my wife, if it's super cold out, we got extra clothes we bring with, and you bundle up. One of the greatest things, a big wool blanket. Wrap that around your whole body, sitting in the chair. It doesn't make any noise. It's not scratchy or anything like that. You're warm and toasty. You're all snuggled up. Take it off when we're getting ready to shoot, and that's the thing that I think that we have to do, because if we want to continue passing on the honors and traditions, we do have to cater a little bit to this instant gratification world of our children, that everything has to be now. And when you start trying to teach them patience, the last thing you want to do is torture them, and go, you're out here for 22 hours and you're not going to the bathroom once, and you stay there and nothing to eat. You're like, I sat there with my brothers, like, I'm dying. When I was growing up as a kid, I was like, this is abuse, and Army Ranger Dad would look over his glasses and go, really? I'd be like, no, I'm just kidding. But that's one of those things that, we this is the nature of the beast right now, is our youth and how much they have to have stimuli.
Yeah.
And I think if you can get them out there and get them comfortable in a comfortable chair, in a way to conceal their movements, and do that all at the same time while teaching them and letting them see Mother Nature, interact at close distance, I think we'll win. And I think that's probably one of the things that Andy Simon with NAP did probably the best, was everything that he designed, he was designing to solve a problem. And when you meet people like that, it's really fascinating, because they've done a lot for the industry. I mean, if you look at the Hellraisers and you look at the kill zones and all this, more modern stuff, you got metal injection molding on the Hellraiser. You've got the kill zone with a slide pistol or a slide center stick on it.
Yeah.
Those are those things that we're taking the innovation of today's world and throwing them back into here, because we're becoming more proficient at taking animals and doing things the right way. And it has to be done the right way. It really does. You can mess up a lot, but it'll catch up with you. You know, so NAP is one of those things. You know, we bought True Glow, and Jeff and that crew came over with their broadheads and tied it all into this family, and they've got some super. The whole line is incredible. So,
well, we're going to dive into some of these products, and there may be one behind you that we need to talk about. this special report coming in, but we're going to cover some products today. What's good for deer, what's good for turkey from NAP and other things. But I guess pick one. We can talk about them, and especially talk about the ones we're going to give away and which ones you think listeners will want to.
Well, I think I love the originals, and then you've got these deep bevel these one blade or two blade systems.
Yeah.
They're deep bevel, deep cut. You got some of the new Killzone RX, but you know, if I sit there and I go, we need to give away new packs, but I think at the same time, let's double it up. Okay. Can I do that?
Yeah. Sure.
So let's take a deep bevel two blade, and let's match it with the original Spitfire Titanium, and we'll give that to the listeners and the watchers.
Okay.
Because I think that's good. I think that you have to see where we're going. You know, penetration out of a compound, out of a recurve is imperative.
Yeah.
You know, crossbows have so much kinetic energy, it's frightening. So it's one of those things when you look at two-blade, heavy-duty bevels, like, you know, if you're talking about hunting big game, you know, your elk, your grizzly bear, you know, great big black bears up in northern Minnesota or up in Manitoba or wherever, you want some bone-breaking objects, and you want to make sure that it blows both an entrance and an exit hole. And I think that's some of the neat new stuff that we have is really designed to penetrate. You know, so it's a cool plethora of variety. It's kind of like, what do you really like? You know, when you look at it, they're all going to operate fine. I've killed a lot of elk with mechanicals. I've shot them with fixed blades. Do I have a preference? I'll shoot the Spitfire Titanium. I'll shoot the Spitfire Extreme. You know, different things like that. That I like a mechanical out of my compound. It's one of those things. They're easier to tune. They fly like darts. There's less wind resistance. You know, and it's one of those things that you got to take a look at how, you know, what's your yardage. You know your surroundings. You know, here in Tennessee, hunting out of a tree stand, you know, your shots are probably 30 yards and under.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you out west, and let's say you're stalking mule deer, or you're chasing elk out west, you may shoot 50 or 60 yards. And the bows these days will present consistency where it's ethical. And as long as you play within your boundaries,
Practice.
and practice that distance. One of the neatest things, and my wife will tell you this, I open my sliding glass door, I have two targets. I have a 62 and a 90, and those are my first two arrows, you know, when I shoot. And I don't go out there and warm up at 20, then go back there, because I look at it like golf, okay? If I practice at 62 and 90, 20 is a chip shot, okay? If I just sit and shoot at 20, 25 and 30 is a mental game that, oh my God, I haven't made that shot. So if you start thinking about how you're going to train your brain, because once the equipment is dialed in, it's all upstairs. You know, if you can control your heart, your breathing, and your mind, you know, this is what you have to do. These are the steps you're going to go through. But if your mind tells you, you have no problem making a 62-yard shot, and he steps out 23, he's dead. It's just that simple. I'm going to make this putt.
Yeah, I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to, you mentioned compound, but we've talked a lot about longbow, recurve. Is there a certain broadhead that works better for longbow or recurve?
I think that you always want to do a fixed blade.
Okay.
And a lot of traditional shooters like to shoot two blades. One of them, though, that I will speak to is that Hellraiser. I believe that's the metal injection molded fixed blade. And the neat thing about the Hellraiser is the 3-blade configuration.
Right.
It's like a romance. You can take your sharpening stone, lay it on the table, and take that Hellraiser and push it forward. And you can stroke that or sharpen that the perfect angle all the time and just rotate it. So you're not having to deal with these fine-tuned angles of a 17 grind or 34 grind on the tip. You're actually setting this on a stone and sharpening it.
Two blades at a time.
Two blades at a time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, two angles at a time. And what it is a romance. Arcus is the flight of the arrow, right? So that's that thing that we all love to see is when you make that perfect shot, whether it's on a target or an animal or anything. It's not necessarily that 20-yard shot. It's that romance of that. And when you shoot a longbow and you shoot traditional, I shot it forever. It's the flight of the arrow. It's that mystical flight of the arrow, and it is so rewarding. And the last thing you want is something bad on the front of it. Don't go out there and shoot a 3-blade mechanical off your recurve. Because even if you hit it in the right spot, you're not getting the penetration.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you said we're going to give the deep cut and the Spitfire. That's what you said?
We can give some kill zones away too. We should do some packages. You guys can put up here anything that you want. I'm going to go 3 packages to each winner. What do they got to do? Like, share, comment? Mm-hmm. All right.
3-pack. Oh, so we're giving 3 packages.
Yeah, they're going to get a variety. They're going to get a variety.
This just in, folks. You don't want to miss this show. Awesome. Okay, well, let's jump into turkey. Which blade are you pulling for turkey?
I like big 3-blade mechanicals. I shoot 65 pounds out of the compound, but I like 3-blade mechanicals. Turkey is the toughest animal pound for pound that there is. A bad shot on a turkey, high they die, low they go. A turkey in full strut, a lot of people don't understand the anatomy. And I did an NAP video, and I'll send you guys a link of the anatomy. Reinhardt Targets did a cutaway. You've seen it with the deer and the bear and whatever, but they did it with the turkey, and they never released it, but they let me go down there and film with the prototype. So you can see, when a turkey's in full strut, he's horizontal, and everything hanging below his wing joint and down is breast meat. And that's not the coup de grace. So it's high they die, low they go. So if you take your wing joint, which has 3 bones out of that, and come down to the top of the drumstick and you draw a diagonal line, which most of the time runs right on top of that bronze band or that brown band on their wing, that's a kill zone right there. And so I like to pack as much punch as I can. If you're my wife, I have her shoot our little DK4. It is a hybrid. It has 2 fixed and then 2 Spitfire blades on it. It's an 1.3" cut, 1.3/8" cut, sorry. But it has a pivoting fixed blade, so if you hit at an angle, it still continues on in that same direction that you planned it. So it's working with inertia. And that is a great load for 50 pounds, and you're not cutting this giant hole, but we're also cutting all the way and getting all that KE out of that bow that we can. We want to anchor a bird. Deer, I love mechanicals again. Elk, I'm not opposed to shooting. I'd shoot at a grizzly bear. I don't really mind. If I know what I'm shooting,
right shot,
yeah, it all counts. It's one of those things that turkeys pack as much poundage as you can. And that's the neat thing about hunting out of a blind is, when I first got started, everybody was going, well, you dropped your weight down to like 40 pounds, right, for a turkey? I'm like, have you ever hit one of these in the wing joint? Because they'll do a cartwheel, and then fly off. And you're like, well, that's that 40 pounds into the wing joint. Turkeys are tough.
Yeah.
There was a cliche that, you slow them down with an arrow and kill them with a big stick. And I've heard it all. But no, I've dove on my share of turkeys with an arrow in them. Probably why I wrote a book. That's going to leave a mark, because I do stupid things like that. But, you're going to recover the bird for somebody, and it's not like a whitetail where you're going to walk up and put your hands around an antler. A turkey might be laying there and acting like he's dead. They can hide under a Kleenex box, for goodness sakes. a full-blown tom. They're amazing. And if their head's back and they open that eyeball and you see that eyelid open, you pound him. Again, this isn't a game of, because I've had to dive on enough birds that we've guided outdoor riders and whatever. I've tackled my share. I've fallen into creeks. And, I ran head into a fence one time. I used to be a world-class sprinter. I'll brag a little bit about my college days of baseball. But I was a true world-class sprinter, and I ran a 4.21 40 and a 6.4 60. Wow. And I'm chasing, and this is when I'm like 29, 30 years old, so I'm not that far out of my college days, and I am chasing a wounded turkey for an outdoor rider that we took on this hunt, and I am gaining on him. He had been shot right on top of the drumstick, and it clipped the wing, but it went down its side. Didn't go in the vitals. I'm gaining. smack straight into a fence. That bird squirted underneath that fence, and I hit like a 6-inch length fence just head first. And I mean, it was like cross sections in my head. I'm like, damn, I was right there. I had him. It was like, I'm going to grab you right now. Nope. Yeah. So, it's one of those things that hit a turkey with everything you can hit him with.
Yeah. You've seen these guys shoot them in the head, and that's where you shoot them with a shotgun normally. So, what's the thoughts on that?
I know, good thoughts. Probably 50 of my birds have been shot in the head between the guillotine and the bullhead.
Okay.
I actually designed the bullhead for Magnus. So it's one of those things that I love that, because a turkey, like I said, with the anatomy, it's really hard to judge. You get a black blob there that's the size of a 55-gallon drum, and you're like, I'm going to shoot in the middle. That's breast, okay? Mm-hmm. They don't know the anatomy, but if you take a look at a turkey's head, it's red and white. It's very easy to put that green top pin on that compared to picking a spot on a whole black thing. Now, if the sun is shining on this bird, you're going to see that the 3 creases of the wing joint right there, you're going to be able to see that bronze band. But let's say it's backlit. Let's say the sun's behind it. Now you've got this black surface right here. But you can find a white and red head. And if you take a picture from his dwaddles up to his skull, any broadhead touching that is bleeding him to death. If you smack him straight in the side of the head, he's done. If you cut his head off, you've won. Mm-hmm. So I love that shot. My favorite shot on a turkey, if you're not shooting the head, I call this my gangster. If a turkey comes in, I always like to have everybody watch the whole show. They're going to flog the decoy. They're going to strut next to it. They're going to do all this stuff. But when they cross their wings and they're walking away, there's an alley that goes straight up from their tailbone to the top of their head. And anywhere in that 15-inch area is the coup de grace.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I never thought about that. Yeah,
sure
gangster
does.
style.
Get them on the
Shoot
run.
them in the back.
That's like the old West when you turn before the other guy turns.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, this has been fun. Great products from NAP. It's new archery products, so that's one of the GSM Outdoor brands. You can go to gsmoutdoors.com, find brands and scroll down and find it there, or you can go to newarchery.com to find all the products from NAP. This has been fun. A lot of good information, and we're giving away 3.
And the giveaways, too, yeah.
3 packages for this show, which that's unheard of for a GSM giveaway so far, so this is cool. But it's a great time of year because we're deer hunting, or about to be deer hunting.
Yeah,
so
before long.
This is great. So you'll have some new broadheads for the season. Comment, like, share, subscribe. That's how you win. That's how you get your name in the hat. And the more you do it, the more chances you have.
Yep. Stuff
Keith,
the box.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
for everything you do.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's good stuff. Thanks for everything you do. Passing on the tradition of the outdoors to those, to everyone. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
This is Tennessee Wildcast. Keep coming back. Keep listening. Keep watching. We'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org. And follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can invest in Tennessee's wildlife future by purchasing a license at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. That's GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.